Swansea City look set to announce yet another midfield signing as Alan Sheehan looks to further strengthen his squad. Now, Marko Stamenić is the man. Hasn't been confirmed at the time of recording, but we are led to believe it will be fairly soon that it will be. He's a 23-year-old centre midfielder, 6'3", who signed for Nottingham Forest last summer, having been strongly linked to Coventry City. And firstly, I think we have to say that Forest and Coventry have both got very, very good recent recruitment records, and even being linked to those two clubs, let alone signed by Forest in the Premier League, is a pretty good sign. Stamenić is a tall, rangy centre midfielder who is a very good ball player, effectively, and he's someone who's a really good passer, particularly long-range passes. And it feels like Swansea are starting to get a really nice blend of midfield options because in Galbraith, you've got the creative player who's maybe a little bit safer on the ball, can be incisive with the shorter passing. In Franco, you have the energy. And then, of course, now with Stamenić, you've got a player who may look to be able to spring attacks from deeper positions, looking to fire out diagonals from a deeper position in midfield. And looking at the way that Swansea have developed this season, I know it's a very short amount of time, having only played 2 league games, but in the opening league game of the season, they started with Jay Fulton in the midfield, in the middle of a midfield 3, with Galbraith to one side and Franco to the other. And it felt like it didn't work at all. Swansea at Middlesbrough really struggled to progress the ball efficiently and effectively and to get the ball into dangerous areas, because Fulton, despite his very good ball-winning capabilities, he isn't the best ball player and he's never going to be someone who can really do that. And it felt like because Galbraith played as right back for Orient, they may have thought that playing him on one wing of the midfield 3 might have been, he might be able to slip into that. But the role that Galbraith played at Orient was so specific to him and specific to the way that Orient played that they just really struggled to get him into the game. And then we saw Galbraith dominate the game in the Carabao Cup in midweek against a poor Crawley side, but even so in midfield, he was clearly the best player on the pitch. Clearly had all the play going through him, scored a goal late on as well. And that led to a change of role for him in the league game in the win over Sheffield United, where Galbraith played very much as the middle of the midfielders with Franco, and we know what he offers with his energy and his industry. Not necessarily the best ball player, but obviously capable. And then we saw Yalkui, the loanee from Brighton, who also came in, who we know will offer real legs and a bit of quality on the ball too. And then with Marko Vidal as well, the Swedish centre fielder, who we see as a box-to-box player and someone who, again, can really offer something from a creation and goal-scoring opportunity too. Suddenly, you've got this batch of midfielders in Galbraith, in Franco, in Yalkui, in Widell, in Fulton, where you've got a lot of legs in there, a lot of ball-playing quality, but then adding someone like Stamenić, who's maybe offers that bit of height in midfield, but also someone who can carry the ball through from deeper areas, but also has that long-ranging passing ability. It's really exciting. Been interested to see the way that Swansea have approached their games in possession so far this season. I kind of thought we'd see Sheehan look to dominate the ball, but thus far it hasn't necessarily been the case. It's been more kind of energy out of possession rather than dominating the ball in possession. That might have something to do with playing Middlesbrough and Sheffield United on opening day, both of whom, in their first 2 league games, I should say, both of whom will obviously look to play front-footed football. And of course, Swansea did have more of the ball than Sheffield United on the weekend. But even so, it's definitely not kind of stale possession. It's not possession for possession's sake. And in that sense, I think having a couple of players, you've got one in Galbraith who can do the ticking over work, but elsewhere you need legs. And that's exactly what Swansea have added. We've seen Alan Sheehan saying in the media that he wants to add more from an attacking standpoint. It was very well publicised that the Swansea was seemingly in for Richard Kone, who's now gone to QPR. And they definitely need that. Bobby Wales looked sharp in the midweek game in the Carabao Cup and scored his goal. But at the moment with Wales, Vipotnik, even Cullen, who in the lead up to Ronald's goal against Sheffield United, he had a decent opportunity and couldn't really get a clean strike away. That feels the obvious area the Swansea need to improve now, in terms of, it feels like in midfield, they've got the ball progressors that they need. Out wide, they've got good creative players who are good ball carriers who offer goal threat too, as Ronald showed. It's just finding that elusive front man, or maybe even 2. Because at the moment, with just Vipotnik and Cullen and Wales, I'm not entirely sure that the quality's there, but it does feel like there shouldn't be as many chance creation issues for Swansea this season. So fingers crossed it gets over the line. I'm really excited to see what Stamenić can do. It feels like Swansea getting really, really good options now in the middle of the park. Just need to add that striker, and I'm sure pretty soon we'll be back on here telling you exactly who that's going to be.